Survivors of Ravenshade Manor. The Ravenshade Manor stood like a rotting corpse atop the cliffs of Black Hollow, its once grand towers piercing the darkened sky. Abandoned for over a century, it loomed over the small town below, whispering legends of the horrors that had transpired within its decaying walls. Tales of the Ravenshade family's grisly demise, some said at the hands of a vengeful spirit, kept the locals at bay, ensuring the house remained untouched by time and man. Yet, on the eve of Halloween, a group of thrill-seeking adventurers dared to defy the warnings. Among them were Ethan, the rational skeptic, Sophie, the aspiring horror novelist, Ryan, the adrenaline junkie, Lily, the history enthusiast, and Daniel, the quiet yet perceptive observer. They had heard rumors of strange occurrences, disembodied whispers, flickering candlelight in the dead of night, and an unseen entity lurking in the corridors. Fueled by curiosity and a desire for proof, they set foot into the mansion just as the first thunderstorm of the season rumbled overhead. The grand foyer was shrouded in dust and decay, the once opulent chandelier hanging precariously like a forgotten relic. Cobwebs veiled the portraits of long-deceased Ravenshades, their hollow eyes seemingly tracking their every movement. As the door groaned shut behind them, a chilling draft swept through the air, carrying with it the unmistakable scent of decay. "It's just an old house," Ethan muttered, tightening his grip on the flashlight. "There's nothing here but our imaginations playing tricks on us." But he was wrong. As they ventured deeper, the air grew thick with an oppressive energy. The walls seemed to pulsate, as though alive, and whispers slithered through the halls, beckoning them toward the forbidden rooms. A grandfather clock struck midnight, its chimes reverberating through their bones. Sophie shivered. "We should stick together." Ryan, ever the daredevil, scoffed. "What's the fun in that?" And so they split up. Lily and Daniel wandered toward the library, its shelves sagging beneath the weight of forgotten knowledge. A leather-bound journal caught Lily's eye, its brittle pages recounting the final days of the Ravenshade lineage. She read aloud of Eleanor Ravenshade, the matriarch accused of witchcraft, whose spirit had sworn vengeance against any who dared enter her domain. The last entry was chilling. She watches, she waits, and she will never let us leave. Meanwhile, Ethan and Sophie found themselves in the drawing room, where a grand piano played a single, haunting note on its own. A mirror above the fireplace reflected not their own forms, but those of ghostly figures standing just behind them. Before they could react, the temperature plummeted, and a deafening shriek filled the air. The mirror shattered, scattering shards across the floor. In the west wing, Ryan's bravado crumbled when he felt something cold brush against his neck. He turned, but there was nothing. The lights flickered, revealing shadowy hands creeping along the walls. A door creaked open behind him, revealing a staircase leading downward into darkness. Compelled by an unseen force, he descended. By the time he realized he was not alone, it was too late. Upstairs, the others regrouped, panic setting in as they realized Ryan was missing. They retraced his steps, finding the basement door ajar. The air within was suffocating, carrying the scent of rot and damp earth. With hesitant steps, they entered the abyss. The basement was a sprawling labyrinth of tunnels, its walls lined with crumbling tombstones, graves that bore the names of the Ravenshade family. At the far end, they found Ryan, his face twisted in terror, staring at a grotesque figure hovering above him. Eleanor Ravenshade. Her hollow eyes burned with an unnatural glow, her skeletal fingers outstretched as she whispered ancient incantations. The walls trembled, and the tombs cracked open, skeletal remains clawing their way toward the surface. Ethan grabbed Ryan's arm, yanking him away as Lily recited the final words from Eleanor's journal. To sever her grasp, burn her tether. Desperate, they searched for the connection binding her to this realm. Sophie spotted it. A locket resting on an altar, its surface adorned with Eleanor's initials. Without hesitation, she snatched it up and hurled it into the fire, burning in the hearth. The reaction was immediate. Eleanor let out an unearthly screech as flames consumed the locket. Her form twisted and contorted, the spirits around her wailing as they were pulled into the inferno. The mansion itself trembled, its foundation threatening to collapse. Knowing they had mere moments, the group sprinted toward the exit, the walls closing in around them. Just as they reached the threshold, the house let out one final guttural howl before collapsing into itself, burying the horrors of Ravenshade Manor forever. Coughing and gasping for air, they stumbled onto the wet grass, watching as the cursed estate was reduced to rubble. The storm above had ceased, and the oppressive presence had vanished. They had survived. Yet, as they turned to leave, a whisper lingered on the wind, a sinister promise from beyond the grave. She watches, she waits, and she will never let us